Good morning, good day. This is Tracy Brown. I hope you're having a good one. And so we are going to talk a little bit today with clients who come in food restricting. So sorry, you can see my laundry basket in the back in the hallway. Yeah, I'm not going to get up and close the door. So I hope you're all doing well. So we've been doing this series around intuitive eating and some things to be watching for, and how to introduce it, how to not get stuck with a client after, let's say, if they've seen you 4 weeks or 8 weeks, because those are the marks. After they've done their first month to 2 months with you, they're more likely to, if they're not feeling some kind of containment by what you're doing, they're more likely to leave. So we want to prevent that, and we want to keep things going, because really deeper work gets going after a couple months, to be honest, so we need to give them some wins and successes. So let's talk about clients who come to you and they're restricting, and you're a non-diet, health at every size, intuitive eating kind of coach or dietitian. And so you coaches, you can work with people who have food restriction. You are basically under eating calories, and that's up for you to decide how you know that. I teach in my program. I even teach my coaches how to know that by looking at their food, and through the hunger fullness work, you can tell. Oftentimes, sometimes you can't, sometimes you can't. So that's something that you can not always, if you're not doing the nutrition part of things, you can also tell by sometimes people's obsession and their affect and their ability to stay focused, or how their energy levels are, or how often they deprivation driven eat. Those are kind of some of your tells as to whether people are getting enough fuel just to cognitively and emotionally be able to be present, be able to function well, so you'll know that. And of course, if you review the key study, which is what I recommend in the first couple of sessions with pretty much all our clients, then you'll know some things to be looking for as you're working with them to tell, and as you look through their food journals. So this is for coaches and dietitians. You guys we all can be doing that work, in my opinion. I think you kind of have to. So something to be thinking about. So let's say you have a client, and there's a couple different ways to do this. Now remember, a lot of our clients who are food restricting, if clients are begging you for meal plans, usually they're the ones who they really do need a little containment, but a meal plan is like a diet essentially for them. It's like, okay, give me a diet, tell me exactly what to do, and then I won't have to think for myself. And you don't want to fall into that trap of people begging you for meal plans, and then you do that, because what happens is it creates another dependence and another, there's a whole other topic. This is more, honestly, for a lot of times for my clients who are in, we all have our ways of describing people's body sizes differently, but I would say like average or standard size and larger bodies, a lot of times will beg me for meal plans, because they feel that will help control their weight. Now, this video is about restriction, so that includes these body types that they want a meal plan because they hope it'll help them lose weight when they come to you and they're already restricting. So you want to point out that disparity right there. Is like, well, I know you came to me because you knew I do a little bit different approach, but I'm hearing you right now ask for a meal plan when you're already under eating. So what makes you think that, one, that anything I could ever give you would help your force your body to weigh less, somehow in the next couple of weeks? And two, it just seems like that hasn't worked very well for you. So I wonder if we could try something different. So with restrictors, they may need actually help eating more, and you can do that in a couple ways. It could be, now people who are restricting very often, if they're already restricting, they're trying to lose weight, they want like a better meal plan. And so we're actually helping them maybe eat more food with a meal plan, but that's not necessarily what we're saying up front. But if you have a client that's coming in and you see their food, and let's say it's 1,200 calories or something, a little more than that, or it's really strict in some kind of way, whether it's less food restrictive or not. So let's say that's happening. You'll have two different categories of people. You'll have people who will just follow that meal plan, and you'll be able to, as the weeks go by, get buy-ins about the rationale for including things, because they want to have more thriving, they want to get their periods, they want to be less obsessed. And we'll say, well, remember from the Key study, you're still below what you need to fully thrive to uncheck all these boxes. So that actually just tells me, and because of some of the food restriction or the obsession you're having, or maybe the low energy, or whatever physical or emotional symptom they have, you can say, and just based on, maybe how they used to eat from their initial, like their assessment, or the days they've eaten more and they felt better, you can always reference back to something. And that gives me the clue that that's the issue here, is that we're still not quite eating enough. And usually the more they start eating, the more they'll get some signals. And the more you'll be able to see, like, oh, I'm probably not eating enough, but I'm still keeping the brakes on because I'm scared. It's going to increase my weight and I'm not going to be okay with myself or whatever. So you're just continuously providing support to continue to help people get their food up high enough where they can tell accurate signals. So, you might be meal planning in a little bit more structured kind of way of like really helping them, do some meal planning. It may be that like we're adding items or adding more snacks or whatever it is you're doing. I'm not going to go into the details of meal planning. That I do that in the course, and not everybody here is maybe going to do that kind of work. So, this is a more generalized video. But what I'll say is that there are circumstances where you'll have clients who are food restricting, who still need to eat more food. You're encouraging that, and always providing a rationale why, not because you're the coach, the dietitian saying so, because they've had plenty of that in their life. It's, what is that like for you to, let's say on the hunger scale, mine's 0 through 10. Let's say that they're consistently eating meals to a 6, so they're still restricting. They're not really getting to any kind of satisfied or full levels. And they can tell that. They know they're doing it. So that you're doing intuitive eating right there. It's just that they are eating less than, they can tell, they can physically feel that they're eating less than maybe what they'd like, but they're still not there to eat more yet. So you can still have your clients who are restricting track their hunger and fullness if it seems pretty accurate. Now, if it's like all over the place and they're just not there yet, I wouldn't spend a lot of time with that. You're still working on just getting the food up and helping them get physically feel better and all that. But when I've had clients who are willing to increase their food regularly, and let's say they're having other behaviors, like they're drinking lots of coffee or diet soda or whatever, and you're trying to like increase food and like decrease some of the appetite suppressants or whatever it is you're working on, you can still be doing hunger fullness work with that. And you can introduce it. Let's do both at the same time. Let's play. And eventually, you're basically doing a hybrid. And over time, you're peeling away those little, the training wheels of meal planning and more straight, learning to trust, So you'll be surprised at how many people, if you really look at their food, you could see like there's some restriction, which is causing some of the symptoms that they're struggling with. Again, mental, physical, or emotional. And if we're not looking closely enough at their food, we're going to miss those things, and they're going to struggle because they're not quite knowing what they're feeling and is this right or what's happening. So we really do want to pay attention to their food. Some people move through all that a lot faster. You might get clients who have already done some intuitive eating and they don't need as much like looking at the food work anymore. But I'll be honest, I work with people, even my clients who, have been doing intuitive eating for a while and wouldn't identify as being like under their natural weight at all. I'm still, keeping an eye on their food, only because, they'll have times where they might shift back to some unconscious restricting without even really recognizing it. And it's a doorway in to discuss what's happening in their life that's feeling like so much, or what the dysregulation is in their nervous system, or whatever's happening. So something to really be thinking about. So this is the little intuitive eating with restrictors video. Hope this was helpful. Please share it with somebody and a colleague you think would get something from this. Share the group so people can come and join and ask more questions. You all are great. If you need to see the like a backlog of some videos, if you're looking to do like a little mini education with yourself this weekend, let's say, you can go to my YouTube channel, Somatic RD on YouTube, and all these get uploaded usually once a week. So this one won't be up there yet. It might take a couple days, but it gets up there within a couple days usually. And I hope these videos are helpful. I'll be joining you again tomorrow. We're going to talk about bulimia and binge eating over this weekend. So I hope that helps, and I'll talk to y'all soon. Take care. Bye.